guys, it's Sean. This is take number 5 or 6. I've tried so many times to re-record this episode, and sometimes I just freeze up and I forget what I'm gonna say because I get so excited sometimes on what I'm about to say next. So let me try again. Today's video is gonna be about whether or not you can own a private security company if you are a police officer. Let's talk about that. Now, I'm based in California. I am more familiar with California law, but I think that the topic and the discussion we're going to have, I think it's going to relate to any state that's out there. As a full-time police officer, peace officer, law enforcement officer, you have to abide by your employer's policies and procedures. There's a manual that you have to sign for in many places of employment. And sometimes in that manual, that policy, there's a restriction on what you can do off duty, in particular employment. In California, we have a government code that allows employers discretion on their secondary employment. So a police agency can say, you know what, we like you, but we feel that it is a conflict of interest if you open up a security company. So we are not going to allow you to do that. And you have to listen to that direction. If not, you can be disciplined. There's some agencies out there like Los Angeles Police Department. And this is my disclaimer. I haven't read recent policy, but this is what I'm told. And I train a lot of LAPD officers with private investigations and private patrol operations, private security. And this is what I'm told. For LAPD, there's a policy that says that you cannot you cannot work as a private investigator. As for owning a private investigation agency, that's a different issue. I don't know what the answer is to that. As for a private security company, I know a lot of LAPD officers that own and operate a private security company. That is okay. Whether policy changed or not, I don't know. So that's the LAPD policy. A lot of departments follow the LAPD policy, or they follow the rule of no, your security company is a conflict of interest. Now, what normally happens is your company can become a conflict of interest if you work in the same company where your security company, if you work for an agency where your agency is in charge of. So if your agency is in charge of city called ABC, and if you're thinking about operating a security company in ABC, there might be that conflict of interest issue, and I don't think your employer is going to allow that. Second, some of you want to become a reserve officer. Can a reserve officer do their reserve duties and also own and operate a private security company? It depends on the company policy. They're going to be a lot more lenient on what a reserve officer can do because many times the police agency is the reserve officer's secondary employment, and most of the time you're not even paid. So the police agencies understand that you got to make money out there for a living, and therefore they're more inclined to accept you owning and operating a private security company. If you're interested in being a reserve officer, please note that you might have to do your 2 hours a month, 3 hours a month, maybe 5 days out of the month. Just find out how many days are required, how many hours are required. You're going to have to do possibly mandatory training when you really don't want to. You might get called in a mandatory manner. They might just call you and order you in. That's a possibility if you're a reserve. So you just got to kind of feel the vibe of the different agencies that you want to apply to. But another issue is the academy. How are you going to own and operate a private security company on a full-time basis and go to the police academy? It's very difficult to do. If you go through the full police academy, which day one to the last day, that's going to take roughly 6 months. In the state of California, it takes 6 months. Now, you could do it piece by piece. So they break up the academy sometimes in 3 modules. Module 1, Module 2, Module 3. If you have a module or level 3 academy, you can technically work as a peace officer in the state of California. Level 2 academy, you could technically work as a level 2 reserve. You get level 1 academy, which is basically 1, 2, and 3, again, you could work as a level 1 reserve throughout the state of California. Differences between all are as such. Level 3, you're basically, a lot of times you're stuck to desk duty. It's a less ideal reserve position, but it's still available. Again, it depends on the agency. Level 2, you're most of the time you're out there patrolling with a partner. Level 1, you're out there on your own after you pass FTO, which is field training, FTP, field training program. I know FTP for other people in the Spanish-speaking community means something else, but in law enforcement circles, FTP is the field training program. Okay, so let's move on from there. If you complete a level 1 academy, you might as well just be a full-time police officer, because that's a lot of training, you guys. And if you do it piece by piece for the modules, it might take you up to 2 years doing module 1, module 2, and then module 3. You might as well just be a full-time. But again, I understand that some of you only want to do it full-time, reserve status, and that's fine as well, so that you can own and operate your company. As for the company, those of you who have never owned and operated a security company, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not a 40-hour-a-week job. You are putting in almost double the amount of time, especially when you start up. You're looking for contracts. You're making phone calls with people. You're getting your employees, your staff up to par. You're arranging contracts. You're filing personnel papers, and you're doing the payroll. It's a lot. It's not a 40-hour work week. It's more. I will tell you that it doesn't feel like you're working 70, 80 hours. It's actually very rewarding at the end of the work week when you realize that you gave some people employment opportunities. Again, very rewarding. For me, it never felt like a job. It felt more of like a challenge. I don't know if you guys who own companies feel the same way. Now, I just got the reason why I made this video, quite honestly, is I subscribed to the Commander Hall channel, HALL, and he was talking about becoming a cop, and then working the security company, owning and operating the security company he already has, and he made a decision, it looks like, to just focus on the company. You got to be focused when you operate these companies. I will tell you that Commander Hall is extremely focused to the point where I strongly believe, mark my words, mark this video, that in between 3 and 5 years from today, he's going to have a staff of between 50 and 75 officers. I've seen this from time to time. I have mentored and coached a lot of people who have read this book, The Private Patrol Operator. And this book is a book that's designed for those of you who want to manage a security company in California. I've mentored a lot of people, and I've seen people start from 0 and go up to 200 private security officers strong in a matter of about 2 to 3 years. It happens. And I've seen I've seen business owners go from 0 and then landing government contracts well worth $1 million in revenue coming in. I've seen it before many times, many times. And I know a winner when I see a winner. So Commander Hall, he's deeply focused. He's sending his officers, his security staff, to citizen academies, ongoing training. He's constantly doing this one-on-one schooling with them. He's basically nurturing the baby, which is a security company. And I'm telling you, this guy is laser focused. He doesn't realize this. He's probably not even watching this video. But believe me, 3 to 5 years from now, he's going to have 50 to 75 security officers. You just wait and see. Like I said, he's focused. He's not focused on, hey, let me be a police officer and a security company owner. No, he's focused just on the security aspect. I made a mistake in the beginning by being focused like a shotgun. Let me tell you what that means. I had a shotgun approach. Private investigations, training, and private security, consulting. And book writing, you guys. This book, I think this took me about 2 years. This book, the California Legal Investigator, this was almost 4 years. Okay, this one I spent a lot of time on, more time than this, because the people that read this book, they're chiefs of police, they are commanders for the district attorney's offices across California, a lot of command positions, the most respectable investigators out there, tons of homicide investigators. They read this book, and I know how picky they are. They're still finding some little bit of mistakes. They email me, hey, Sean, did you mean this? Yes, I did. I'm going to revise it soon, but you just wait. So I was focused like a shotgun. Everything was scattered. But Commander Hall, he's focusing right now on one thing: security company. If you guys have any questions, concerns, anything else, don't hesitate to ask. You guys all take care. Be safe.